And so in all these things, my goal this morning is just to help us understand what a special, special, special thing we do every Sunday. We don't need to take it for granted. We don't need to just, our minds be somewhere else when these things are going on. It's something incredibly awesome. That's why when the presider prepares to remind us of the words of Jesus, the words that He said at the Eucharist, we don't just stand there anymore. We get as humble as we can. We kneel. Probably if we had more room, we could lay flat on our faces. That would be appropriate. But it'd take a lot more room than we have. And your clothes would get kind of dirty too. But as reverent as we can get, we kneel. And now what do? This is something that we haven't really, I don't think, been taught very well yet. Or, I don't know. But when he says, please kneel, a lot of times people, first thing they'll do is they'll bow. And they'll close their eyes. And they're gone for the next 5 minutes. Because they're bowing, they close their eyes, and they're kind of asleep. Actually, we're supposed to keep our eye on the presider at that point. Because he's holding the bread. He said he took bread. He takes bread, and he's showing it to the people. If he's showing it to us, we have to watch it. And while he's telling us what Jesus did, we keep our eyes on that host. But then when he starts quoting the words of Jesus, he took it and he broke the bread and he gave it to his disciples and said, at the words of Jesus, we not only kneel, but we bow. Again, this is our way of worship, our way of expressing our love to God, our reverence for God. God, there's only so many things we can do with this human body. But what we can do, we kneel and we bow because you yourself said, this is my body, which is broken para sayo. Do this. And all we can do at that point is just kneel. Then when he finishes quoting the words of Jesus, we look up again. He elevates the host and we look at it. Then he brings it down. Then as he genuflects behind the altar, it's hard for us to genuflect. We're already kneeling. We also bow our heads again. Then when he stands, we lift our head again. Again, these are expressions of our love for the Lord. Expressions of how can we even comprehend this great love you have? Then we come and receive from him. As I said, he didn't just give us things. He didn't just give us congratulations. He didn't just give us comfort. He gave us himself. And he gives us himself every time we come here. And as we receive the Eucharist, the body and the blood, and go back to our place, it's good to kneel and to reflect, I just received the living God. Not just a funny looking little piece of wafer, not just a ordinary brand of wine. I received the living God. That's something you don't do anywhere outside of the Eucharist. That's what makes this so special. You don't ingest the living God anywhere else except this sacrament. And so, as we're receiving and as we're back meditating on it, don't just, oh, well, Lord, I pray for this, pray for that. Okay, let's go. Meditate on what you've done. You just did something awesome. God just did something awesome. He gave himself to you. Right then. And the prayer after communion also reminds us of this. And then it reminds us again of our responsibility not just to receive God's love and respond to God's love, but to share God's love. Because then it says, send us out into the world in peace to love and serve you and to love and serve your people. Because we're here not just to receive God's love through the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is very vital in the Eucharist. He's the one that comes down upon the elements and makes them the body and blood of Christ. More importantly, it's through the Holy Spirit that God's love is poured abroad into our hearts. That's why, again, this is a good thing to share this morning, because the Holy Spirit is very active in the gospel reading when he came upon Jesus. And then the Father said, this is my beloved Son in whom I'm well pleased. We celebrate the fact that God is so pleased with us, he brought us here today to love us. Then as we're dismissed, again, we're reminded, let's go out and not just receive God's love and love him back, let's love his people also. It's just what I wanted to share this morning. It's kind of unusual. I'm usually somebody that sticks very much to the scriptures that are given, and kind of a teaching format. That's kind of the gift that God gave me. But this morning, I was battling over this all night long. Is this really what you want me to share, Lord? Is this really it? All night long. Since all week long, but all night. And I really know in my heart, this is what we need to understand. Don't take this lightly. As we're singing for the Lord, don't just, no, I'm gating my heart, and I'm trading my shame. Let your posture, this is the body God gave you to express. This is another kind of a boring looking, okay, I'm here. Give unto God the offering of our praise. I don't buy that. If you're really going to love God, love God. This one, not really so good. Our bodies God gave us to express worship to Him because He's here today to love us in a unique, ultimately powerful way by giving Himself to us. So let's respond to that love today. In every little minute of the time that we're here, such a precious hour and a half to 2 hours that we have, let's be prepared to share that with Him this morning. Please stand.